Yo, what's going on, Senpai Squad? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're talking about Black Clover chapter 220. Now, it is a much shorter chapter than usual, so I don't expect that we're going to have a massive deal to actually talk about. But that being said, there is something I wanted to talk about regarding Black Clover, but not necessarily to do with this chapter, but actually to do with some foreshadowing that was thrown all the way in back in chapter 10. But you guys know the drill. Before we jump into all that, we're going to go into our rankings for this chapter. I'm quite surprised. I am quite surprised, to be honest, that 64% of you guys gave this chapter a 5-star rating. Now, I'm going to go, maybe I'm being really mean here. Maybe I'm missing something. I'm going to go 3 stars. I thought it was decent. It was okay. It was very short. The content was nice. It was funny. I liked the Charlotte and Yami shipping that they've got going on, because long-time viewers will know that I do like that ship. It's probably one of my favourites in the series. But at the end of the day, fast forward 6 months down the line, am I going to remember this chapter? Not a great deal, to be honest. It's one of those which it's nice when you read it. It's a nice little break from all the intensity that we've had over the last year. No, it's a nice little break. It's just a bit forgetful. It's a one-off type deal. We might get a short little mini arc, sort of reminiscent of the Hot Spring arc we got, because although the Hot Spring arc was training, at the same time it was a bit more chilled out, you know, with the Hot Springs. I could sort of see something like that happening again, considering it's the first arc of a saga. I'm not too sure. It could just be a throwaway chapter while the meaty stuff builds up over the next few weeks. I'm not too sure. And going into the comments, not many people commented on this chapter, which I think sort of puts it into perspective kind of what this chapter was like, really. We've got 2 very conflicting comments, actually. So we've got one from Sakata Gintoki saying it was a fun chapter, and then we've got KRL Chatakun saying it was boring, to be honest. I'll give it a 2. So 2 very conflicting statements right there, and I feel as though I am right in the middle of the 2 of them, and that's why I'll go for a 3. Saying that, though, there's a few things to talk about. For example, the Julius and Mark's reunion in this chapter. I sort of forgot about Mark's, and that's really bad of me, because he's such a humble, loyal, lovable character. You can't sort of like not like Marks. And even during his emotional, tear-drenching reunion with Julius, your boy still found time to get the paperwork down to a T. So he's a very hard-working guy. Can't not like him. I'd forgot he'd turned to an elf and all of that stuff, and he was there to witness the death of Julius, and he fought Yami as well, I remember. So it's nice to see their reunion at the end of the day. There's nothing more to that. It was just a nice little thing for us to see. But a more interesting conversation regarding Julius, I think, in this chapter was one between him and Damnatio. I really, really like that. And as each chapter goes by, I view Damnatio less and less as of a villain. He's not a villain at all. Not even just a chance. An antagonist, yes, that doesn't necessarily mean he's a villain. He's not exactly a Lix or anyone like that. He's just an antagonist. And for anyone who not 100% sure on the antagonist definition, it's just someone who opposes our protagonist. And that's all Damnatio is, because you can see him and Julius, there's a relationship there. They know each other well enough. And Damnatio, I feel as though he's sort of not necessarily doing this against his will, because it's quite obvious that he does want to do this. But seeing his reasoning behind it doesn't make me forgive him or the Clover Kingdom, because the reason the Clover Kingdom is like this is the reason Julius and Asta and Yuno want to become Wizard King. I mean, Julius already is, but that's the reason they want to become Wizard King, so that they can try and make a change, because they're saying that Asta's not done anything wrong, per se. But if they don't prosecute Asta, then it makes the Clover Kingdom look incapable. And they can't do that. So to them, Asta's just a small sacrifice to make the Clover Kingdom look more capable. Not only to its residents, but to the likes of other kingdoms as well. They can't look weak. And when you think about it, this whole attack all started because of the royals. Obviously, it was a royal that was initially taken over by the devil, I believe, in the minister. He was taken over by the devil, which then trapped the first Wizard King, Lumiere, and then obviously the royals extracted all them and killed all the elves, again under persuasion of the devil, but still it can all be traced back to the royals. So the fact that they indirectly started this 500 years ago is another reason why they should take the blame, but they can't, because like I said, they can't look incapable. And it's just unfortunate that Asta and Sekre as well are the ones to have to take the blame for this. Anyway, while we're on the topic of Damnation, I want to talk about this absolutely crazy foreshadowing back from chapter 10, I believe it is. I saw this on Twitter, so shout out to whoever it was that brought this to my attention, because you'll know who you are. It was absolutely magnificent spot, and it's sort of the perks of rereading the series. You pick up on a lot of things which were foreshadowed early on. There was a scene in chapter 10, like I said, which sort of goes over the importance and uses of magic tools in a conversation with Noelle, and how maybe she could use a magic tool to master her magic a little bit. And there is a panel showcasing some of the Clover Kingdom's different tools for repressing magical powers. One of them was Damnatio Scales. That was in chapter 10. We're in chapter 220. Damnatio was introduced, I want to say like 5 chapters ago. That is nearly 200 chapters of foreshadowing for Damnatio, and none of us even thought about it. And people call Tabata a bad writer. This guy is a madman. He's a maniac. I adore his foreshadowing. People always say, oh, it's so good when Tabata foreshadows a fight which happens a few chapters down the line. It's like, yeah, that's not the important stuff. What about all the foreshadowing that was done 100, 200 chapters in advance? You don't talk about that, do you? No, of course you don't, because that doesn't fit an agenda. I'm getting into a bit of the rant here. But I just wanted to bring it up because I thought that was just absolutely fantastic. And it puts into perspective that Tabata didn't just have the Elf Saga planned, and then towards the Elf Saga he started to think, oh, maybe I should start thinking of the next ones now. That goes to show that he had the entire Elf Saga and probably the entire new saga all planned from the get-go. We're talking 200, and if this new saga is going to be 200 chapters as well, we're talking 400 chapters pre-planned. 400 chapters. Most series don't even get to see 400 chapters serialized, let alone have that many planned up or pre-planned. It's crazy to me, and I can't help but applaud Tabata. He's one of my favourite new gen mangaka by an absolute landslide, from his art to his storytelling. It's fantastic. I love it, and it makes me wonder, and if you guys are currently reading Black Clover right now, rereading it, have you picked up on any foreshadowing that has come into fruition now and has, like the Damnation one, has took effect? Or is there still some things which you're starting to think there's something missing about that? Because if that is, could we see that question answered in this new saga? Jumping into Yami x Charlotte, Yarlet, Shami, what is the name of this ship? I don't know, but it was nice, it was cute, it was good for the fandom and the shippers, and I'm sure that all the Yami and Charlotte shippers did absolutely adore this chapter. I'm sure that's where a lot of 5 stars actually came from. I thought it was cute, it was very, very funny seeing Charlotte run through the kingdom like that and learn how to walk on water with chakra and all that type of stuff. Is fantastic. I did enjoy it. It was fun, but like I said, I just don't know how much it'll stick in me in the future. But one thing I wanted to talk about regarding Charlotte, and it was sort of mentioned in this chapter, and it sort of goes back onto the foreshadowing talk I was just talking about, and that's Charlotte's weg. And I think it was Sekre who said maybe Charlotte's just found out about her weg. I think she said her weg, or just weg in general. And it makes me think more about Charlotte's curse, because Charlotte's curse is something, for me at least, which just seems unfinished. We were told about it. We said when she was younger and she turned 18, her curse was activate. Yami broke the curse. That was sort of as far as it went. There was a few more talk about her curse, but it just feels very unfinished, like an unfinished plot right now. And now that we've had Sekre with the Weg, Asta with the Weg, I still feel like Patry and Veto and all them should have had Weg because they've used nasty spells too. And now Charlotte. Now Charlotte doesn't have the physical manifestation of someone who's used Weg like Asta or Sekre does. But at the same time, Asta doesn't in his base form. Asta only does when he actually uses that Weg magic with his black form. Sekre is a different one. She's always got her black horns. Charlotte at the minute, she doesn't have any physical transformations to do with Weg right now. No black horns, nothing like that. So it begs the question: is one, is it a Weg curse? Is it or is it not? Is there a different type of curse? Secondly, is she going to get a new form? And then will her horns appear like Asta? Or is this Weg curse of hers actually sort of a genetical curse that maybe someone in her family has had Weg and it's been passed down through a few generations? Maybe her family or her descendants were originally from the Spade Kingdom, because we know there's some dodgy antics going on with the Spade Kingdom regarding demons and devils. Is she originally from there? So, lots of questions with Charlotte, and I feel as though with the topic of Weg and curses becoming a very hot topic in this saga so far, I feel as though that's sort of going to be our goal, to sort of learn about these sagas, these curses in the first few arcs. And there's a lot of ways to do that. You've got, obviously, you could try and talk to Asta's devil. Don't think it'll be very compatible, but you can give it a shot, I suppose. You've got the Spade Kingdom. Maybe go to the Heart Kingdom. Maybe the Diamond Kingdom know a bit about it with all their physical transformations and experiments that they do on people. Maybe they know something about curses. Maybe they've experienced it themselves somehow. Or, and I saw someone say this on Twitter, and I think it's a very, very potential thing that could happen, and that's actually going to the Witch Queen and the Witch's Forest again, because we've been there before. It's world building that's already been established. Go back there and expand on it some more. The Witch Queen isn't necessarily an ally, but she's not really an antagonist to us either. She's sort of neutral ground as long as you're in a good book, so I think she'll be fine. We did sort of save her forest, of course. She knows a lot. She knows about the elves. She knows about the anti-magic. She knows about the devils. She knows a lot more than what we do. And I think taking our team, the Black Bulls, to the Witch Queen is starting to look, and I can't believe I never thought of this, but it's starting to look like something which could very highly likely happen. So I want to ask you guys, do you think we could not go to any of these new kingdoms right now like we all expected, and actually go to somewhere we've already been before and see the Witch Queen? That would be very interesting in my opinion. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think of that. But if you did enjoy, leave a like on the video, subscribe if you're not already to become a member of the Senpai Squad. Like I said, leave all of your thoughts and opinions on this chapter, The Witch Forest, all of that in the comment section down below. And I'll be seeing you guys in another video as always. But until then, peace. 執着の地獄がす寡黙なものおびき寄せられた神々の消し恐れを知らぬ剣が貫く目指す場所とはまだ見ぬ定め近づいてくる決戦の時